bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So one of the things I want to do this holiday season is network more with people. I'm working on an AI for the game of Gizmos, and I hope to release it on December 21st because it's the 125th anniversary of Mary Curry discovering radio. And so one thing I've been doing is spending a lot of time at the Student Union in both Phoenix College and Grand Canyon University. Now the Grand Canyon University has a dining hall, and I was thinking about, when I first started work there, I was thinking about eating there more often because I want to network with the students there, right? And I wanted to find out if, as an employee, I could get some kind of dining plan that might make it a little bit less expensive, right? And so I went to find out about it, and as I did, I picked up a brochure and learned about all the different plans and the requirement if you were going to live in one of some of the campus housing and all of that. I read through that, and I was astonished at how much people, college students, will eat in a given day. Some of the plans averaged out to like $20 or $30 a day. Now, if I had that much money to spend on food, I wouldn't necessarily stuff my face. I would eat better quality stuff, that's for sure. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury. Anyways, as it turns out, I'm probably not going to buy a plan like that. It's probably cheaper just to eat. I mean, I'm hardly going to be eating there every day anyhow, right? And it saddens me that college students are missing out on networking, and instead they're stuffing their face, right? One day I happened to be talking to one of my students who complained that there wasn't enough time to eat. I was commenting on how so many people are driving distracted, eating behind the wheel. And he says, well, yeah, but when do you find time to eat? You know what? I told him, do I look like I'm starving to death? I think I'm okay with missing a meal if I have to drive somewhere, right? Next week we have a solar eclipse, and I'm driving to, this was last month. Next week I have a solar eclipse. I'm driving to Albuquerque. And if I have to miss a meal during that time, I could use a missed meal, right? Not that long ago, I had blood pressure issues. My family has heart conditions. I could miss a meal when I do that. And unfortunately, the concept of I could miss a meal is very terrifying here in the United States, right? I read somewhere that if Americans miss like 3 meals in a row, we'll have civil unrest, right? In most parts of the world, missing 3 meals is the norm, right? And even then, very few people actually do starve themselves. They might miss out on, I agree. When I miss a meal, yeah, I miss out on some pleasure. A-okay, I agree with that. What I don't agree with is that it's a life or death situation and that you need to risk your life while behind the wheel in order to get to it, right? And I also disagree with the idea that life centers around food. I go to the Student Union, yeah, maybe to eat, but also to network with other people, right? And I wish we would recognize that. I really do. It's sad. Here in the United States, we don't see each other as a team, right? We're a nation of strangers, unfortunately, it seems like. It doesn't seem like that in other parts of the world. And yet, we don't hesitate about stuffing our faces, and then we argue with each other. And then road rage and eating behind the wheel and all that. I really wish we got along with each other more here in the United States. I really do. It would certainly help me launch my career with the AI for Gizmos. I really need to network with more people. If anybody watching this video knows about the game of Gizmos, knows about AI, would like to collaborate with me, I need to create that critical mass in my game writing career. Right now I'm just writing them here and there and here and there. Feel free to drop me a line. I hope to educate more people about the dangers of distracted driving. And it's really simple. It's really simple. The only thing you have to remember is that every time you start your car, you're handling a dangerous weapon right there, right? If you know, this week marks the beginning of hunting season, you pick up a gun, you recognize that this is something that could kill myself or kill somebody else, and you treat it like with respect, right? You don't do it while you're drunk, you don't text while you're doing it, you don't eat while you're doing it. If you were to go skydiving, right, or if you go skydiving, you don't text while you're midair, right? Or if you were to if you do some sort of dangerous job, you're a surgeon, right? You're not going to text while you're operating on somebody. You're not going to do it drunk or daydream while doing it, right? If you the next time you start a car, just think about it. I'm operating on somebody. I'm about to pick up a gun. If that makes you uncomfortable, then you really don't have any business driving that day, right? If your thoughts are carried away and your friend just ghosted you on Facebook, do anything other than drive, right? Sleep in your car, sleep it off if you have to, right? But don't drive, right? Call off sick if you have to. Take an Uber, right? Whatever except for driving, right? Sleep in your office if you have to. If after work you're so upset you can't drive home, right? Sleep in your office if you have to. Just don't drive. If you don't feel comfortable picking up a gun at the moment in time that this is happening, then you have no business driving. It's really that simple. I really hate to be the one to point this out. Oh yeah, the other thing that annoys the fuck out of me is that we have so many nails on our roads here in the Phoenix area. Alright, anyways, it saddens me how we have this, see, I really despise this culture of food that we have. When was the last time you heard somebody use like the A word? They're addicted to it. No, we call them foodies, and you know, no, you got a problem. If you're centered around food, you need to realize there's a whole life outside of it, right? Don't downplay the concept of misusing your food, right? It's just like misusing anything else, right? If you misuse, trying to think, what's another thing aside from food, right? If your sleeping habits are bad, right? You would never say, oh, I just love sleep. I'm a sleepy, right? You would never say that, right? I have a sleep disorder. I can't sleep when I need to. I fall asleep. Although part of the problem is that we live in a society that forces us to sleep out of sync with our body. But that's another story for another time. If you misuse sex or I'm trying to think what other natural bodily function one can misuse. If you misuse, if you over-exercise yourself for some reason, right? If you're a workaholic, if you're trying to think what other stuff that is necessary for life that people can misuse, right? You get the idea, right? Nobody would glorify all that. Although workaholism, some people do glorify that, unfortunately. It's not a good thing to glorify. You get the idea. Respect your food, respect your car, right? Every time you put food in your mouth, you got to remember, this is like putting like drugs in my mouth, right? Imagine you were going through chemotherapy. You would never take extra chemotherapy drugs just because it feels good, it tastes good, right? You got to respect, when you put something in your mouth, treat it like you would treat taking a Tylenol or chemotherapy or you get the idea, right? You would never abuse Tylenol or some other medicine just because, oh, it feels good, right? You would never go and abuse vitamin C just because, oh, it feels so good when, especially when you flush, right, from taking a large dose of vitamin C. I used to be pretty addicted to that, by the way. It felt like you were having sex, right? For a long time, I didn't have a partner. I kind of used vitamin C as kind of a sexual, because you get watery stool shooting out. But yeah, you don't abuse vitamin C just for sexual pleasure, right? That was wrong of me, right? And I paid the consequences for that. When you put something in your mouth, treat it like you were taking an over-the-counter medication. That's what food really is, right? When you start your car, treat it like you were about to play with your favorite deadly weapon, right? Some people go hunting this week, but I would hope you don't do it while drunk or while texting. All right.